All right. So for those of you who don't know me, I think quite a number of people I'm seeing here are familiar. So, but for those that don't know me, my name is Kenny. Okay. Um, my name is Kenny, and I'm one of the co-founders of I Lead Tech. So, Mr. Dami, please help me with the uh, allowing allowing people in the those in the waiting room. Yeah, thank you, sir. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, like I said, my name is Kenny, and I'm one of the co-founders of Highly Tech. I'm in the US, all right, and I'm a data scientist by should I say by profession. So yeah, in terms of career path, I'm in the field of data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, right? So, but today is about unlocking your path to US green card through EB2-NIW. So EB2 stand for employment-based, okay, employment-based, like second preference, uh, um, employment-based approach or path to get a green card. NIW stands for National Interest Waiver. So we're going to unpack all of this, what it means, you know, what it means in the long run, just to see, okay, what exactly does it mean? How does this help me? What is this telling? When you say national interest waiver, how does it apply to me? Okay, I'm in Nigeria, I'm in Ghana, I'm in another part of the country, or I'm from Asia. So how does this help me? So that's what we're going to look at. All right. So, but please try and be muted to avoid any form of interruption. Please, I beg you. Thank you. Okay, so just like I said, since I'm coming from a platform of highly tech, I won't do well by not introducing the platform that is giving me the opportunity to host this event. So for those of you who are not familiar with Highly Tech is a training and consulting firm registered in Nigeria and in the US, okay? And we train students from different countries across the world, okay? But our vision is actually to get as many Blacks and Africans into the tech industry, all right? So, and these are some of the courses that Highly Tech usually train on: data science, data engineering. We're expanding into cybersecurity. We're expanding into DevOps. So currently we have analytics, software engineering, and so on. Okay, so that's that about Highly Tech. Let's move to the main reason why we came here today. Okay, so there are several paths actually to get the US green card, you are aware. Okay, so I put the main parts here, which are the first preference part, the second preference, the third preference, the fourth and fifth. So you can see EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4. We have other parts like, those who married a citizen. I beg you, please be muted. Please be muted to avoid any form of interruption. Okay, so but my goal here is employment-based path to get a green card. And even in the employment base, there are two specific categories I'm going to talk on, but I will emphasize more on the second part. I will talk about the first part. How is that EB1 different from EB2? What is the advantage of EB1 over EB2? Because it may be that you are qualified for EB1, and I will tell you that the advantage of that. Okay, EB2, I'll tell you what the advantage of EB2 and also the cons, like the pros and cons there, the let me use the word limitation, not really a limitation, but a kind of let's use the word limitation to EB2. All right, but I will tell you what the advantage of what EB1 stands for and how EB1 works over that limitation of EB2. But the focus is EB2 because that's the second preference employment-based path. Okay, now the first preference, okay, EB1, is also employment-based. When you see EB, it stands for employment-based. But who is this for? Now, these are the people I categorize here falls under, they are people that, like those with extraordinary ability. And when we say extraordinary ability, that is subjective. Okay, and I'll give you different scenarios. I've had different people go through this part without, to me, extraordinary ability, but they are doing well, but without extraordinary ability. So how I will tell you what you can do to, it's about argument, it's about you tabling your issue, right? But I will talk about that. But let me talk about it in general. So the EB1 is for extraordinary, those with extraordinary ability, either in the sciences, in the arts, education, business, or athletics. For instance, if you are an athlete who and then you've won some award, whatever award, EB1 is for you straight. With one award alone, you get the US this US green card. In fact, the EB1 is the fastest. And that's the advantage. This will become clearer when I talk about EB2. For EB1, now usually in the past, before a law was brought in February, in the past, when you are applying for whether EB1 or EB2, I will talk about what EB2 means. Once you submit your application, you can apply for green card also immediately together. Submitting the form for approval to see whether you are approved or not. Sorry, so I'm being distracted by those trying to join. So in the past, you can apply, even as at last year, when you apply for either EB1 or EB2, after you've determined that you are eligible or you are qualified, you can apply immediately together with the green card. So as soon as they are approving that one, they can start processing your green card. And within 1 year, or it should be good, or within 6 months. However, some things change. And that's why when you see a post that tells you that get a green card in 6 months, this kind of stuff, run away from them. They are not genuine. It's not true. Okay. So some things change now that says that, okay, for EB2, you cannot submit green card directly with the application for the I-140. I-140 is the first stage, which is for you to approve. I'll break some of these things down as we move on. So now the rule is now that you have to first apply for approval and wait for some time for your priority date. I will talk about what priority date to kick in before you can apply. For instance, you may have to wait for that one. It may take a year or something like that. But why do I digress to that point is the advantage of EB1. Suppose you fall under extraordinary ability, like you feel that, okay, maybe you are an athlete, you've won some award, even if it is just one, you can apply for. So EB1 is the only category that allows submission of application and your green card together up till now, as I'm talking about. You can do that with EB1 now. But if it is EB2, that's not true anymore. Okay? So suppose you're also a professor, like you're a lecturer in any university, whether in Nigeria or anywhere, UK, anywhere, and you've had at least 3 years of experience in teaching or research or in the academic. Hello, please, let's be muted. Please, I beg you, let's be muted. So if you are a professor or a lecturer, by professor here, we don't mean, I know in Africa, when we say someone is a professor, it means that it's not just a lecturer. No, in the US, if you are lecturing, there's something like lecturer 1, lecturer 2, you are called a professor. Okay, so it's not like you have to, as far as you have a PhD, the PhD or that you are in the academia lecturing, you are a professor in the US. It's not like professorial title. Nope. Okay, so you've had at least 3 years of experience in your teaching or in your research in the academic area, and then you want to come to the US. Suppose you're not in the US, you want to come to the US to pursue academic work. You want to apply for to be an assistant professor or whichever position in the academia. But there's something we call tenure track, meaning that a full-time lecturer, a full-time professor. So if that is, and you are not in the country and not in the US, then this you can apply for EB1. Like I said, for EB1 is the toughest part because the bar is kind of high. So it means that you've achieved some international recognition. If it is in the academia, you've achieved some international recognition. Let's say you are just a researcher, but you are not a professor. But you've published several papers, and these papers have good, like high number of citations. Can we please be muted, please? Thank you. Good number of citations, then you can do this. In fact, the example of someone I have, now, okay, maybe I'll give the example later. All right. So if you are, even though you are not a professor, you are, let's say you are doing your PhD or you are done with PhD, suppose you are done with PhD, but you don't have to be done. You can be in the program, PhD program, but you have had some good number of citations. I mean, some publication, and a quite number of people have cited you. You can also table your case that you fall under this. Now, with EB1, it's possible to get both the I-140. I-140 is the first form you apply for, which is the waiver that you should be waived. Okay, I will talk about what waived means because I just use those terminology. So that's the first one you do, but with EB1, you can apply for both together. So that means with EB1, you can get your green card. It's possible even within 6 months or 1 year because you can apply for the I-140 and the green card itself together. Now, when I say waive, what does it mean? Ideally, employment, when you want to get you want to be employed in the US, which I know it applies to many other countries, is the rule is that you should be, the company that want to hire you should sponsor you for your visa, right? So, so when this company want to sponsor you, there's something called, the company has to get something called labor certification. And what that means is that the company has to write to this department, the USCIS, to get a labor certification for you, meaning that, okay, we cannot get a talent that is comparable to this guy, and that's why I'm employing this guy and I want him to work, not really permanently for me, but be able to work permanently in the US. So that's the normal route. So when you are now coming for this EB1 or EB2, so you are saying that you do not need that labor certification to be approved. You do not need that labor certification to be approved to work in the US, meaning that application, that certification should be waived for you. Why? Because you are an asset. You have something to offer to improve the United States. That's what it means. You have your ability, you have talent, you have gifts, you have skills that is going to improve the United States. Sorry, can you all hear me? Someone is saying I'm muted. Can you hear me?
Very well, sir.
Okay. Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. Yes. Okay, so if you can't hear anything, please check your mic. It's possible from your hand. All right. Okay, so so that's the normal route. Okay, that's the route that, okay, now you have something to offer, so they need to waive. So what you're applying for is that I want you to waive this requirement. If you're a student in the US and you are an international student, if you study and you are done, you are required to get a job within 60 days. You get something we call OPT, I think it's optional practical training. Yeah. So you are required to get that, right? And even with that, you still need to get a job within 60 days. If you don't get it, it's saying go back. So, but with this form, this EB1 or EB2 is saying we need to waive these, all those requirements. Please, I beg you, be muted, please. We need to waive the requirement of that 60 days or a company sponsoring this guy before he can work permanently in the US. We also want to give him the ability to work for any employer. It's not restricted. That's what this employment-based category means. Whether EB1 or EB2, that's what it means. It means that Even if you have not gotten a job within 60 days, you can remain there because you do not need a company to sponsor you to work for them. Okay, but like I said, the EB1 is the first category and is the bar is somewhat high, meaning that you have to really prove that you are internationally recognized. However, let me tell you this, so that you won't get it wrong. This thing is about you being able to argue these things out. Okay, let me give you an instance. I know of a friend. We did our masters together, but he did his PhD in mathematics education. He only had one publication all through in his stuff, and maybe after he finished, he started doing, I think, postdoctoral, and I think he had one more. But he has not finished his postdoc. He applied for EB2. He reached out to a lawyer, and lawyer said, you are not qualified for even EB2. But this guy believes that he is qualified. He believes. So what he did was to apply himself, and he did not even apply for EB2. He said, okay, I'm going to apply for EB1. This is someone I know. And when he was applying, he coded something in his stuff. He did by himself without using lawyer. Okay. So I will talk about that you can do it yourself. You are using lawyer. What is the price range? I'm not a lawyer. I'm not the one that's going to do it for you, just to give you information. Now, but some of the things he said in his application, I'm aware of those things. He said that he argued his case that in the field of mathematics, it's very rare to be able to even publish a paper, because what do you want to publish? What mathematical formula or something that you want to publish that someone else has not published? And even if you manage to publish one, it takes, and he cited articles that some people have written in the field of mathematics that it takes minimum of 3 to 5 years to get at least one citation. So he argued that for him to be able to publish this one or two, that means that he is qualified to be in this category of extraordinary ability. He got it. he got it without using lawyer, and within 6 months, because it's EB1, he applied for green card. Stanley, he doesn't have to wait for any priority there, and he got his green card. Okay, he's from Ghana. Now, okay, so I just want to quickly chip that in so that you know that this thing is also subjective. And I'll give you the general stuff, but know that it's subjective. Okay, so this is the first round, but the main, and these are things that you need to use to evaluate yourself. Like I said, you've received prizes that are nationally or internationally recognized. If you're an athlete, maybe you have one award. If you're not, if you're in the academia, you have publications and good number of citations. If you're in the business, you are well recognized within field. You are a member of professional association. This one is very easy, right? To be in one, register as a member in some professional association. You have, like I said, academia, you have published papers, right? That people have cited, and you can use that to claim your relevance. Okay, or even though you have not been, there's something we call reviewer. So as for instance, I am a PhD student. At the same time, I'm also working. But as a PhD, I've got an opportunity to review other people's publications, right? I've reviewed for some conferences. So suppose you have done that as a reviewer anywhere in the country, you can also use that you have the opportunity to judge. So you just need to satisfy at least 3 of these. This is the whole criteria on the USCIS for EB1. You only need to satisfy minimum of 3 of these. If you satisfy at least 3 of these, then you are qualified to get this EB1. So these are some of the things that I got my friend also used. For instance, he had been a reviewer before. Please be muted. I beg you, be muted to avoid any form of disruption. Okay, please be muted. All right. So he has published at least 1 or 2 papers, and then and also if you are working, you have evidence to show that in this field that you are projecting, you have earned, you have a good high command of like a command of high salary. That high salary is to talk about your role. because in the US, they pay you based on your experience. So if you're an expert, you're obviously, your fee is higher than someone who is beginning. So high salary there is suggesting that this guy is an expert in his field. So he has something to offer. In fact, I remember when I was applying for mine, one of the reviewers said, not approving Kenny for this is losing a great talent, which is detrimental to the US. I saw it. So that's part of what your reviewer is going to say, right? So is going to say, so you are only proving to them that you are an asset. They need you. Without you, they are losing a great talent. The person said, he said, so losing him to another country is losing a great talent to our competitor. That's just it. So that's what you want to prove there. So you only need to satisfy any three of these. You don't need to satisfy all of them. Any three, then you are good to go. But that's EB1. But a more lenient one is this EB2. And I would advise you not to waste time on this one, because quite a number of people now are beginning to see that, well, they got it wrong before, that EB2, you have to have a PhD, you have to have this. A lot of people are beginning to see the need for this, and they are going on it. So what is EB2-NIW? Like I said, NIW stands for National Interest Waiver. I'm sorry if I talk too fast. Please just try and follow along with me. It stands for National Interest Waiver. And what this is saying is that, remember I told you about the labor certification. I told you about that usually for you to stay in the US to work fully, a company needs to sponsor you. A company can sponsor you from any country. They can sponsor you within the US or outside the US. They can sponsor you to come and work in the US. I have people who have gotten a job from Nigeria and they moved to the US like that. But this NIW is saying, well, we want to waive that requirement of a job offer for this person to work in the US. We do not need to file for labor certification because of this guy is a talent and is in the interest of the United States to grab him because of what he has to offer. So the enabled that qualify for a national interest waiver, they are not defined by status, or instead they consider at least 3 factors, which I will show you the list. Okay, so, and like I said, you can self-petition. You can petition yourself, or you can use a lawyer, right? Self-petition is you or using a lawyer. So the other one, if you are not the one petitioning, is that a company who wants to employ you can also petition this for you. However, you do not need a company to file this one for you. You can do it yourself. Okay, so who is this for? So if you have a master's degree in, I usually say STEM, but the truth is it's not limited to STEM. A master's degree in any field, and you have, apart from your master, ideally is master's degree that is allowed, that makes you eligible. Or if you have a bachelor's degree, but you have minimum of 5 years experience in a field that you want to project. What do I mean by project? When you apply for this thing, you need to project a field that you're an expert in that field, and that field is what you want to, you've been making contributions, you've been adding to lives, you've been impacting people in this field before, and you will continue to make impact in that field even when you are given the green card. That's what I mean by projecting a field. So for me, for instance, even though I'm doing my PhD in computer science, right? I'm an expert when it comes to data science, machine learning, but that's not what I projected data science. But what part of data science? I projected data extraction, because that's really, 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 really what I've been spending my years on, how to extract data from scientific documents. Okay, more of natural language process and all of that. That was what I projected, but that doesn't mean I've seen someone else project machine learning. I've seen someone else project data science and say, oh, these people don't really understand what most of these things mean, but they want to say, okay, this is the field you are projecting. Have you been working in this field for long? Okay, for how long? And what are your projects? So if you are going for this, you want to showcase all the projects that you have been doing in this field. If it is and you also need people to say, okay, for instance, this is where recommendation, you see the NIW, it largely depends on the recommendations you get. You need to find people that you have worked for, that you have done projects for, that can say, okay, this guy has been, we worked on this, he worked on this for me, he worked on this, this is a project, we worked on this together, and this was his contribution. This one, we also say, okay, we worked on this project, this is his contribution. So you need to have either a master's degree, because you're going to submit all your transcripts, you're going to submit your certificate, you're going to submit all of that. If you've been working, which is good, you're going to submit your offer letter to show the offer letter must carry the amount you are paid, to show that you've had what do I put it? I think a command of high salary, to show the salary, because the salary shows your experience, right? So you need to submit all of that. Now, for those in the academia, those doing whether a master's or PhD, now, if you have had the opportunity to go and do present in a conference presentation, this is part of it. I know some of my colleagues who have gone to a conference and also won the best student paper. This is opportunity to showcase all of that. For me, when I was in my master's, I got quite a number of scholarship. I submitted all of this. I got scholarship 2 different times during my, so I submitted all of this, okay, because these are proofs to show that you are an expert in this field. These are proof to show your contribution. I remember, okay, I will tell you some internal stuff that I did. I think the first conference we have in terms of data science in Nigeria, I organized it. And I showed it, and I brought some speakers from the US. All right, this is online. I brought some speakers from the US and from in Nigeria, people who are in the industry, both Americans and Nigerians who are in the US. I coded all of these, right? And I organized this for the youth in Nigeria. So these were part of the things that I also add to my application. And some of my publications, one of my publications had over 1,020 something data downloaded. So I coded all of this to show the significance of my work. So whatever you can get, those things that you saw them as being minute, this is an opportunity to showcase all of them. You just need to magnify that thing, okay? Magnify it. I know of the person that I said approved for was approved for EB1. What it was showing in most of his stuff were not things that, there are things that his friend may overlook. For instance, when he was in his master's, he had the opportunity to be a graduate teaching assistant, which is normal in the US. If you get funding, you will be a graduate assistant. He coded all of this, that he was a graduate assistant. This was the impact he was making in the lives of his life. He was contributing. So also, even me, when in my program, I had the opportunity to be one of, to support a professor who organized data science for high school year. I quoted all of these things. It's more of your contribution that you want to showcase, because you need to showcase instances where you've made impact in people's lives in that field, and also to project that you will continue to work there. So that's the main stuff in this EB2-1. So whether, like I said, to summarize, whether you are just a BSc holder but with 5 years plus work experience in the field, or you have a master's degree, you have already completed your master's, and then you are working in that field, that is good. If you've not yet started working there, this is an opportunity to start portraying, okay, this is the field I want to portray. I need to start working, and how do I get work in this particular field? And so that you can begin to plan your stuff. Okay, don't worry, I'll take your question very soon. I will round up. So like I said, these are the things that you need to showcase. You need to showcase your academic record, like your transcript, your certificate, to show that you have a master's degree. You need to get letters of, you need to get recommendation letters. Now, the second line here is for mainly those who don't have a master's degree, right? So it's mainly 5 years, but to make it very strong, suppose you don't have a master's, you want to show that, okay, you've been working for over 10 years. I know of a brother, I think it's even my brother-in-law, who came into the years, I think within 1 year, and he started applying for, but before he came, he was been working in a field similar to electrical engineering for over 10 years. He got it before me, and I was in the years, I've been in the years for over 3 years than him. So that's it, because, and it just, work experience a lot matters. If you have been working in, if you have work experience, quite number, that is even much faster than even academia. It's much more faster if you have work experience than even being in the academia. Okay, so license to practice is more like certification. Just get a certification, right? It can be all this, those in data engineering, Azure data engineering certificate, just a certificate to showcase that you're an expert in the field. That's what license to practice means. Membership in a professional association, just being a member of, just member of, just register as a member of association in your field. That is it. So you also need to certify at least 3 of these, not all of them, at least 3. Okay. And once you have at least 3, you are good to go with this part. So what are the steps? Like I said, you can self-petition yourself or through an immigration lawyer. Most people go through a lawyer. I went through a lawyer myself. I'm not here to project any lawyer, because I didn't even inform the lawyer that I'm projecting anything. Okay, but suppose that when you've digested all of this, you want to go through it, I can refer, but I'm not liable for anything. Okay, but one thing I know that lawyers is not, and this is not peculiar to the one I use, most lawyers in the US, they will not go ahead with you if they know you do not qualify, because some will even offer 100% full refund if they know that you are qualified. Some will offer 50% refund. It depends, and some so it all depends. However, most will evaluate your resume free and then tell you. Let me shock you. When I evaluated mine through one lawyer, he told me I'm not qualified. But I know that that's not true. I am qualified. So what I did was to take time to review my resume and put everything I got there. I put everything, then I looked for a different lawyer and I submitted stuff for free evaluation. And he said, you are, I don't want to use overqualified, you are a strong candidate. Within 2.5 months, I got mine when I approved. And when I applied for it, I got it. Okay, approved, the NIW. So that's just to tell you. So the first stage you apply for is this one, the I-140. And it is, even if you have a family, you are the only one that will apply for that one. Okay, and when they now approve that, and it's time to apply for this, that's if you're going for EB2. If it is EB1, that's what I say, you can apply for these 2 together. Meaning you can apply for you and your family together. However, the disadvantage of that is, if they find you not qualified for I-140 and you apply for both together, you are definitely not qualified for the green card. So for you to be qualified for green card, you need to pass this first one, I-140. So suppose you apply for the 2 together, if you go for EB1, if you are found not qualified for EB1, automatically you are rejected for EB2 and your money is gone, because the money for the application is not refundable. It's to the US government. Now, but the advantage of this for the EB2 is that they don't just disqualify you. No, most times, if your application goes freely and they find you very eligible, they will not require for evidence. So there's something called RFE, meaning request for evidence, meaning that they see you as a potential, but your form, your application is not strong enough. So they want more evidence. So they can request for more evidence, and that can make your application to go beyond. Ideally, it's supposed to be within 3 months, but that can make it go beyond 3 months if they require for more evidence. It can take extra 1 month or extra 2 months, things like that. So for NIW, they don't just say you are disqualified and that's gone. No. Most times they can send it back. Suppose you go through a lawyer, they will send it back for more revision that, okay, you are qualified, but so needs to be revised. And the lawyer can ask for more stuff from you, more materials, and revise and send it back, and they will approve it. Before the USCIS can disqualify that, you are totally disqualified. That shows that you are not even qualified in the first place. But I know that the lawyers will not even make you apply if they know you are not qualified at all. So it's very, the chances of being disqualified in EB2 is low. So meaning chances for approval, if you meet the requirement, is very high in EB2. Okay, so if you are doing it yourself and not going through a lawyer, the very first time you need to submit to the US government is just $700. That's the application fee if you are doing it yourself. Okay, and when they approve this and it's time to apply for the green card with you and your family, because you can apply for as you and your family. You need, if you have children under 14 years, you pay $750 for each of them. And for you and your spouse, suppose you are married, you are going to pay $1,140, or any children above 14 years. So you just multiply this fee. But the fees, you are not paying the fees to anybody. These are the form, the application fee. If you are going through a lawyer, most lawyers will tell you for the first one, their own fee is $5,000. That's lawyer's fee. But I've had people who do it themselves. I didn't do it myself, but I've had people who did it themselves. So you can do it yourself. Okay? That doesn't mean I can't guide someone who feels is qualified but doesn't have money and want to. I can guide, but I can't guarantee because I'm not a lawyer. I can only guide you through some of the materials I have been exposed to, see, okay, how the petition is, what you should quote. But if you have the money, I would advise you to go through a lawyer. It makes things easier and faster, okay, because it's their job. But you also have to be careful in that. I've never really met those anybody who scam or not, but someone says, is it 500 or 5,000? I said $5,000 for lawyer fee. That's if for lawyers. So you don't have to go through a lawyer, like I told you. Even that 5,000, I only said it. There's no specific fixed fee. I'm only telling you from experience of most lawyers that I've seen, okay, that I've had help people process, including mine. However, most of them don't say you should pay everything at all. For someone like the person I use, he asked for 50% before he can begin the process, since he said, okay, I'm a strong candidate. And when it was ready for me to submit, because gathering everything, it took me like 2 months, all the materials and everything. When it was ready, he asked for the balance. I know of some, like the one my brother-in-law went through, they didn't even collect 2.5. They said, okay, we're going to give you 1 year to pay. 1 year, and you'll be paying every month. However, the problem with that law firm is that law firm is a big law firm. For them to approve you that, okay, they want to help you process it, you have to be very, like my brother, I said, he has over 10 years work experience. So for them, when I submitted to them, they told me I'm not qualified, because each different lawyers with different thing they are looking for. And based on what they are looking for, based on what they've been doing, they will judge every other applicant as not being qualified. Meanwhile, the applicant is qualified. For them, they want you to be in a PhD program. They want you to have a very good number of publications and citations. So it all depends. So if one lawyer tells you are not qualified, that's not the end. That's just that lawyer's opinion. Okay? You need to look at it and make sure your resume is the main stuff. Every decision, every opinion they're giving you is based on what you put on your resume. So, but make sure everything you put in your resume, you can supply the evidence for it. You can. If you claim that you are working so place, you are going to supply recommendation letter and offer letter from that place. Make sure you don't put what you cannot provide evidence for. Make sure. All right. So I think that's it. So timeline for this, ideally qualified applicants should get approval within 3 months. For me, I got it within 2 weeks, 2 months and 1 week. For that, my brother-in-law that I said, he did EB2, he got it in 1.5 months. So but within 3 months, if they are not requesting for evidence, other evidence, you should get it with at most 3 months. Now, you don't have to be in a PhD to do this. I have referred people who just did masters in I referred one who did masters in statistics and is currently working as a data analyst, and he has applied waiting for approval. So, but the last is a strong candidate. What did he do? He just had master. He only had one work experience in Nigeria before he came to the US, right? So just one work experience, but in his master's program, he had one internship, and after his master, he's currently working as a data analyst. That's all he had. That's all he got. But what he showcased the project he did while in his master's program, the project he did in his internship, the project he's currently doing. And he got people from the school he did his master's, the bachelor's in Nigeria, and where he did his internship to write applications for him. He got some of the professors to write application. So that's just it. In fact, if you have more of the people, professors who can write for you, that's good. If you are in the working place, people like your manager can write for you. So it's more of evidence to show your command of stuff. So this is my last slide. After EB2 and I-140 approval, for EB2, you need to wait for priority date. So what is priority date? Now, priority date is actually the day you submitted the application, not the day it's approved. For instance, suppose you submit your application at the end of November. That is your priority date, November 2023. Now, currently, as I'm speaking right now, the USCIS have only processed green card up to July 2022. So meaning there's a backlog. So everyone is waiting till they get to your date. The priority date is the day you submitted this NIW. So if you submit in November 2023, they are currently in July, but the thing jumps because they just released quite a number of visas. October is the fiscal year. They release thousands, hundreds of thousands of visas. So as they are processing it, it can jump from that July to February 2023. It can jump to even July 2023. So you need to wait. The moment it gets to November 2023, you apply for the green card. And not just green card. When you apply for green card, you can also apply for work permit together. Now, even if you are not in Nigeria, or even if you are not in the US, you are in the UK, you are not in, or you are in Nigeria or anywhere, all right? And then you apply for your priority date kicks in, you apply for the green card and the work permit together. Green card can take 6 months, 1 year, but the work permit will most likely take within 2 months. If they approve for the work permit of 2 months, you can actually move, you can start looking for a job. And if you get a job, you don't need that. Every job here only need you to show that you have work permit. You can move to the US without the green card if you have the work permit. You can. All you need to do is just to apply for visa. And they already know that your green card is already in process, so definitely they will give you. So you can start working even before the green card. You only just need to wait for this priority to kick in and you apply for the green card and the work permit together. The work permit will usually come within 2 months, and then you are eligible to work in the US, whether from outside the US or come to the US and start working. You can even get a visiting visa, you have the work permit. That's it. All right, so that's it. I think I can start take questions so that I can clarify other stuff. So if you want to put in the chat, that's fine. If you want to unmute and ask, I think this is a good time to ask. All right? Your turn. Yes, any question? Did I do well? Is it clear enough? Question, please. No question?
Okay. Hello. Thank you very much, Mr. Kenny.
Yeah.
It's a very, 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 very good, useful information that you have shared with us all today. Yes. So I just wanted to say that, so to start this process now, you have okay. I've already given although I joined late, but I think I've gotten the I got the most important part of the most important information that we are going to share. So what I just want to ask is that for people that For people that have US citizen children, we don't need to apply for the children, right?
Yes, you don't.
You don't
They
need
are
to apply for
automatically
it.
qualified. They are
They
citizens.
are, of course, they're automatically qualified. Okay, so, but you said, what you said, if I understand what you said one can apply, get a job in the US already, start working from wherever one is, right? And you don't have to go to Nigeria to do the interview or whatever. We're going to appear at the embassy, right? Can you do it from like the UK?
All right, that's a great question. So if you are not inside the US, you are going to apply from your, even though you suppose it depends on the lawyer, okay? So if the lawyer is in the US, right? But you are not applying, you are not in the US, but the lawyer is going to be the one to help you submit it actually. All right. So when they submit it for you, once you are approved to apply for the green card, it will be from the country you are in. If you're in the UK, you apply for the green card from your country. So that means the embassy there will reach out to you to come for biometric. So yeah, the embassy there, you'll be communicating with the embassy there. If it's in the country you are actually residing. I know that even though you are in Nigeria, but you are in the UK, you are going to apply from the UK. You don't need to go to Nigeria.
Okay.
It's the country where you are currently residing. That's where you're applying for. That's the embassy there, the US embassy there that will deal with it.
Okay. So we'll start working with the work permits from wherever you are.
So
right?
the way it works is this: when you are applying for green card, the best thing is to apply with work permit, right? Because green card can take some time, but the work permit, say as soon as they have approved this first one, you are definitely going to be approved for the green card. So the main work is this first one. This one is the easiest, if the first one. So if you apply for this,
EB1 or EB2, the EB2 now.
Yeah, EB1, you apply for the two together. Like I have a friend here, okay, who is, let's say, okay, I think I have a friend here, like Yasid. Yasid is my friend, is a senior colleague. Someone like that, to me, you can apply for EB1 straight. But suppose you want to apply for EB2, okay? So EB2, you are going to do this one after the other. You are going to do I-140 first, and the I-140 will take within 3 months at most. Once they are approved that one, you just need to wait for the priority date to kick in to apply for the I-485. I-485 is the adjustment of status, meaning you want to adjust your status from a foreigner to now a permanent resident. So that's the one you will apply with the work permit, right? So if you apply for that, the green card with the work permit for this I-485, the second one, the green card most time will come within 2 months. So once you have the work permit, once you have the work permit, you can apply for a US job. You can apply for a job in the US. All most US employers want to know is whether you have a work permit, right? To work. It's called EAD. All right. Okay. Yeah, EAD card. That's your work permit, your work authorization. So once you can, even once you have it, even though you are in the UK, you can, if the company allows remote, you can. If you want to move to the US, you can apply for visiting visa and come in, all right, and be working till your green card will be ready. Do you understand?
Okay, but my only fear of that US is that the way that they are carrying gun all over the place. Is that gun that is
when you get to the US, you will tackle that one. I don't know where you get that one from. All right. Someone else.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Kende, sorry, yes. I joined a bit late. Can you explain me the green card? What is it exactly?
All right, I'll take that, but let me quickly take other question. I'll go back there. Okay. Linda, yeah, I'll take that, Chaona.
All right.
Yeah, Linda, I saw your hands up.
Okay, sir. For example, you talked about how your salary can boost your application. So let's say, for example, if I'm in Nigeria and I'm earning like 500,000, that's a big salary, that can be commensurate to my experience. But someone converting it to dollars, is like someone's weekly pay. So how can you prove that what you're earning is equivalent to your
currency is not what matters. What you are, so it is the salary in that field, right? For instance, like you said, okay, when you were in Nigeria, let's say you are working as a data analyst and you are earning 500,000 naira, right? So the point is, they know for you to earn this in this particular role in Nigeria, what was your role, right? So that shows that you are not an entry level. Nobody is doing any conversion to dollar that, okay, this is how it is in dollar. No, there is known now that different country with different currency, so they don't do that, right? So the main thing is what proof that money, that offer letter that shows the amount you are being paid is just to show your level of experience. An entry is someone like a lead data analyst will not be collecting money for an entry level role, right? So it's just to show the level of experience you have. The key thing of all of this is to show your expert level, right? You're an expert in this field you are projecting. So that means you have something to offer. You're an asset to the US. That's what that shows. So it's not about conversion. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. So Rafia, do I answer a question?
No, thank you, Mr. Kenny. My question goes thus. For instance, now based on what you explained about the EB2 or EB1, for instance, back in Nigeria, you have been on the particular role in STEM for a very long time, like 7 years. Coming to the UK, you had your master still in STEM role, but quite different a bit. And you haven't gotten something after your master, you haven't gotten something in that role, like a job in that role. In that situation, what can the previous experience and maybe you're able to get a recommendation letter from your previous employers and the likes be useful in this situation, pending where you get a job in your role in the current country where you have?
Okay, good. You see, this thing is more of package. You don't need to have too much. So the question is, how well can you link your previous IT role to your current career? How can you link it? If you see where you know that there is a link between the two. For instance, you are doing data science and AI now. Before you were working as an IT analyst or IT specialist, you're actually in the field, right? So the two are connected. So you see, everything they are judging you is what you gave them on the paper. So how do you link these two? Why not link the two, not see it as two separate careers, but together? It's just that you are transferring from one role to another role, still in the same career path. So I want to project data science, and a data science needs an IT analyst, right? It needs him to set the environment. So you work in the path of setting the environment that a data scientist needs. So you've worked in the area of setting the environment, the cloud environment, or the networking stuff, and now you are not now setting, you are now be the one implementing it. So you have a kind of both. So it's how you package this thing that will help you. Now, you raise another point that, okay, he's not currently working in the field. Even you're not currently working, you can't showcase that you're not currently working there, right? You can't showcase that part. So all you want to showcase, okay, so now you've had your master's, why not showcase the project that you have done? Showcase all the different projects. It's more of the project. So even in your application, is the project you have done that they will put there. For instance, for me, when I worked for some time, like an intern with the Los Alamos National Lab, right? Before I start my PhD, I put that there. I put the project I did there. I used one of the mentor there to write for me. Now, okay, I worked for Microsoft over 2 different summers. I put all of these things there. And some of the things I was doing, for instance, some things you were doing, you were part of IELTech. Some of the things you did, put them there. Some of the projects you did at school, put them there. Some of these projects you've done while working in that, put them there. Link all of these together. Make your application, your resume substantial. So it is how you link them that matters. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you, sir. It does.
All right. Someone said, can I apply from US with my visitor visa? I joined late. Okay. Let me see. Is there any other question before I go to that part?
Hello, sir.
I have a question. Okay.
Hi, sir. I am Bayo Adefemi, sir. Sir, I
Alright.
want to ask this question. I'm sorry, I joined the class. So
Go ahead.
I joined the class and I have another class on which I'm going to prepare for. I do not know if I can get a recorded version of this, sir.
Yeah, it's recorded. We'll put it on Highly Tech YouTube channel, so you can always go back. Okay,
Okay, brother.
we'll
Thank you,
also share it. Yeah. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Any other possible?
I want to ask a question. I said, the lawyer that you're talking about, are they the ones that will do the documentation for all these things, or you have to do the documentation yourself?
So I'm only going to speak from my own standpoint, right? And I know the process is general for most lawyers. So the lawyer I used, when he first screened my resume and said, okay, you're a strong candidate, all he asked for was, okay, he gave me a form, things I need to submit to him to file, to write the petition. So it's only one letter you are writing, which is the petition, right? The main petition. So, but it's going to take many pages. So inside that petition is like, you want to argue, hello, please. So that's where you want to talk about that you are qualified. So what he did is to give me a list of things he needs from me. One starting from academics. He asked for all of the transcripts, all of those things. He asked for any award I've ever gotten at any point. And he said, see, don't take any award, anything, just give me. It's not too small. If as small as being on there's something we call president list or dean's list in the US. Something of even in my country, Nigeria, like being a first class, right? Yeah, there are some things they give. He said, give me if you have them, right? Give him all of that. Then they also ask for, okay, now on your resume, I could see you work for this, you work for this, you work for that. Can you get me the offer letter and recommendation, at least one recommendation from anybody in that company that can say that they satisfy you, that you work for them, that can talk about your expertise. Now I'm in the academia, right? Do you have any paper? But do you have any publications? And do you have cited people who have cited you? But if you are not, that's fine. If you're in the academia, you want to talk about the papers, the publication that you've published, and different number, how many people have cited it, things like that. You want to talk about. So those are the things actually that the lawyer put together and write and say, okay, what field, what career are you projecting that you want to contribute to the US? So once you give that person that title, it might ask you to just write maybe 1 or 2 paragraphs or 1 page to argue how, like, introduce yourself to me, right? Sell yourself to me. So once you do that, the lawyer get everything, put everything together and submit. That's if you're going through a lawyer. If you're doing yourself, then these are the things you also need to put together and write. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead, sir. Mr. Patrick.
Okay, Mr. Kenny, thank you so much for the presentation. I think it's one of the presentations that any good-minded person will be looking forward to. I don't know, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Yes. My concern is all about, in fact, I need a clarification on if my qualifications must be in tandem with my work experience. For example, what I mean by that is I'm in Nigeria presently.
Okay.
I have my first degree in biochemistry. Okay. I have 2 masters, one in environmental biology and the other in agribusiness management. But presently, I'm a service manager, otherwise known as head of operations in a bank in Nigeria. Okay. So I don't know if my qualifications, because obviously, if you look at it, they're not in tandem with with my work experience. You understand? So I don't know if that would be a stumbling block. That is one.
No.
Then secondly, in my first degree, I have a publication. Though I don't know the number of citations, so to speak, just one. So I don't know if there'll be, if there's any form of hindrance based on what I've presented, or if I'm good to go. That's just what I want to find out.
If I'm a lawyer and I want to evaluate you without looking at your resume, in fact, you are a strong candidate. See, what you did before, it doesn't have to be exactly what you are doing now, right? So it's what you are doing now that you want to project. You want to project that your master's degree or is just to show that you are not a non-entity, right? You are an educated person. You have something to carry. You have something, right, that you want to offer. So you've had this. You have this educational background to show. Now, what you are doing, for instance, what you do, you are head of operations. I'm sure for you to be that head, you have had over 5 years experience. So you're already an expert in that field. So what the lawyer, which I would advise you to go through, we ask you is, okay, in this your office, hello, please, in this office, what exactly is the main strength thing that you do? That's so it's going to craft a topic there that you want to project that is your where your expertise lies, which is in currently what you are currently doing, and that's where the thing is going to start. So in head of operation, you must be doing something. There is something that you are doing that you are an expert there, right? That's why you are head. That's what you are going to project. I've had lawyers apply for this thing. I've had people in healthcare apply for this. So it doesn't really matter what you've done, where your background is and what you are doing right now. It doesn't matter. Does that make sense, sir?
Very well. Thank you so much.
All right. So someone asked me that, okay, what is a green card? What is the benefit of having one? All right. Ideally, Shauna, I will point you back to this recording. However, in just a few sentences, a green card is just what you need to work. Like it's just more of being a permanent resident in the US, right? To work permanently in the US and not just permanently live in the US. You need a green card. So it's more of the certification. Like you're in Nigeria, you have this thing. What do we normally call national ID, right? Am I correct? So national ID, so something like that. So something that says that you are eligible to live here and to work here. So that's the green card. But there are different parts to get it. One part is to be married to a citizen, something like that. But the part we are really talking about is, okay, how to get like through, since you're a professional in your field, like you're a professional, you have a master's degree or you are working, you have some work experience, you can use that to get this green card. But you need to first go through the I-140, which is the EB2-NIW, is to say that this person do not need an employer to sponsor him to come and be working in the US or to live in the US first. He is an asset and he has things to offer to benefit the US. What the skills they have is in the interest of the United States. So that's the process that we're doing. I hope I was able to do a summary.
Okay. So the green card, if we compare with the work permit, which one will take longer to come out in most cases?
So you cannot, well, work permit come in different platforms, but if you're going through this route, you need to first get the first part here, this I-140, which is to say you're an asset. The work permit can come together when you're applying for green card, but it usually come faster than green card, usually 2 months or 3 months.
Okay, but the work permit is does not help you to get a residence, permanent residence, right? You then need
it does. It only permit you to work, right?
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right, I will take maybe 1 or 2 more questions and then we can end the call, right? Someone want to, I see, I saw one on Samsung or something like that.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kinde.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Please, I want to ask whether if we in the civil service in Nigeria, whether we have a take here, as in whether we have chance, because I've been in civil service for over 10 years now, and I'm a professional in the field, but due to this salary issue you are talking of, Nigeria don't pay good salary, and for the past 10 years, I can't boast of maybe my salary being up to 100,000, and I don't know whether it will be a limitation and how it can affect me and all that. So I want to know how, yeah.
Okay, so I don't think salary is the main thing here. So there are a few things that you need to take into consideration. This is the basic level. You need to have a master's degree or a bachelor's degree with 5 years post-bachelor's in the field, okay? You can say 5 years post experience minimum in the field that you want to project that you
Yes,
are.
I have a bachelor degree and I have a PGDE in education,
So
but I don't
that's
have
what you want
master.
to
Yeah.
project. So if you, it doesn't really matter. So you say all of these things I listed, you only need to certify 3.
Yes.
So as far as you can certify minimum of 3, I think you can begin to see, okay, so okay, can I apply for this now? Now, if you look at everything and it appears that you are not fully qualified, you can actually work things up. Start working on it. So within 6 months, you can like gather some. So this thing is more like working towards it. For instance, like I told you, when I applied, when I first approached, Ella told me you are not qualified. So I wanted to, I know I am. I wanted to start applying for myself, okay, with a friend. But I said, wait. There's some, okay, I need to, before I approach any other lawyer, let me package this thing very well. So I did my homework, look at it, I put many things into my resume that I have, which I omitted before, right? This is not where a 1-page revenue now. No. Resume now, I mean, if it's 4 pages, this is where it's your CV. You can submit your CV now. It doesn't have to be 1 page. Or, there's no length issue here. This is not a job. So then I look at, okay, I've submitted some publication. Let me quickly wait and at least get 1 or 2, at least one approval so that I can have something. Then I started tracking. Even the paper I submitted was not yet approved, but it was data set. And people started downloading data set. Okay, I said, okay, I think I have some more evidence now to push this thing. But even without those things, when I applied, I reached out to another lawyer, which happens to be a lawyer from my country, but here, he saw it in a different dimension, and he said, no, you are a strong candidate. I've done it for people with 0 citation. I said, really? So I was skeptical, but I saw his testimonial on LinkedIn, and I think I want to give this guy a shot. And see, really, within less than 3 months. So it all matters on how you package your resume. So you need to, okay, if you are working for the government, for instance, you need to, okay, what exactly are you doing? What exactly is your area of expertise? That's what you want to showcase. This thing is about packaging. I'm not really offering any service in this life, but I think one thing I may begin to do is to help people in the area of, okay, packaging yourself before you even reach out to the lawyer. Because once you start lawyer is just more like submit your resume, let me screen it and let you know whether you are qualified or not. So if you didn't package, don't tell you are not qualified. Meanwhile, you are. It's just that you didn't package yourself very well. So that is the part I know that I may be offering some help, but I've not yet calculated on how I want to go about that because of the time. Okay, so but if at all I'm going to offer any help, it will be, okay, tell me all you got, and let's see how we can package all of this on your resume. And then, like I said, someone is asking, can I refer a lawyer? Yes, I can, but remember, I am not an intermediary between you and the lawyer. I'm not advertising any lawyer. If you want me to, I can refer to the one I use, but I have nothing in between it. It's between you. There's nothing like a referral. I'm not getting anything, a dime from you. You can use anybody. So you don't hold me liable that, okay, I've applied though. Okay, so you directed me to the lawyer, they must approve me. I'm not in the process. I'm not doing it. So that's why I don't refer. But if you want to, you need to understand this my terms. All right. And then you can DM me and then I can refer you and that's it. That's the service I can do. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, sir. Okay, I think we are good to go, right? So that's it. So if you have more stuff, more questions and all of that, most people here have direct access, and if you're on LinkedIn, you can always let me know. Okay, how can you do it by yourself? Yes, you can do it by yourself if money is the issue. Honestly, I would love to help. I can share some insight based on the materials I have. But I think the first place is the place of the resume. Okay. So he said, do I offer services? The truth is, I don't, and I don't think I want to, but I can guide, right? I can guide you. Okay, so but if you are connected to me on LinkedIn, just DM me and I'll look at my schedule and we can start from there. Okay, so we can start from there. At least let's see what help I can offer. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, you can do it yourself. Obviously, I've had several people do it themselves. So I wanted to do it myself, but what I didn't get then was how would the application look like? But after I did myself, I saw how the application and I said, okay, I could do this myself now. I could write this, but it's always like you need to see, okay, the format. I never got format. Nobody was ready to share the format. Everybody is hiding. So that, but when I saw it, I saw that, okay, I don't actually need a lawyer to do this. I could do this myself. So you can actually do it yourself. Someone say, is there a WhatsApp group? Mr. Dami, do you have a plan to have a WhatsApp group? If you have, please share it with them. Miss Dami, do you have any plan to put that in a WhatsApp group? Yeah, do you? Miss Dami is not here. All right. So let me see. Okay. So Miss Dami is not here. He's here, but I'm not sure he's right connected. So what we can do, I don't know if all of you, what?
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
Okay, so do you have a WhatsApp group for them? I think people want a WhatsApp group. They need more information. I think that would be good, okay, to share. I mean, this is part of the service.
Okay, can you give me like 2 minutes? I'll just drop the link so you can just join.
All right, so let's give him 2 minutes to do that. And in that group, so please, I think that's a great idea. We can share more information. I can give more direct access. My fear is my time, but I will try as much as possible of what I can do, right? To just be of help. So let's give him 2 minutes to quickly put a WhatsApp group, and then you can join if you want to. It's not mandatory. All right. So and that will be it. Okay. So I'll just pause the recording. Yeah.